Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Pollux. Thanks for stopping by. And today I want to talk about what doesn't normally get talked about. I thought it would be pretty cool to speculate which tanks might be going in for the Race to World first. This is obviously my opinion. This has absolutely nothing to do with anybody else or thought process behind any calculations or math or algebra that you could think of that was going in. Just my personal opinion on what I think the guilds that are going into the Race to the World first might use. Again, strictly my opinion. If you think that I'm wrong, it's entirely okay. Just based off of early looks, recent changes to classes, and not only just because their capabilities are there, but because maybe the Race to World first guilds might be using a different class, a different spec of that class because it's better performing. So we all know this. You've been playing this game long enough. That's just how it works. So I just want to make a video just to show this because you don't usually see too many of these out there, if at all, and I thought it'd be pretty cool. Just to do a quick plug-in that I'm streaming live on the weekends for our raid for the new expansion. It's pretty late, Fridays and Saturdays, starting around 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 Eastern. And then throughout the week, especially early on, I'll be doing a lot of Mythic Plus runs. This time around, I'm planning on, I have 4 tanks ready for Mythic Plus and Mythic Zero starting, well, Mythic Zero starting Tuesday. But I'm going to plan on doing 5 total. I'm leveling the Paladin right now, but it's super slow. But right now I have a Death Knight, Demon Hunter, Druid, and Warrior. Based off of my guild's requirements, I ended up picking my Vengeance Demon Hunter as my main. Started off with Warrior because Warriors were looking pretty strong, and they still are. But ultimately, because we didn't have a Demon Hunter magic debuff, I went ahead and chose Vengeance instead. Anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. And number 1 on my list, without a doubt, only because I think of what they bring for the Race to the World first, is going to be Blood DK. And the reason I'm thinking Blood DK is multitudes of utility for raid. They're really good for boss encounters, grips, AMZ. They get the best AMZ out of the 3 specs, and of course AMS. And this is the most latest tank that I've leveled, and let me tell you, their heroic talents, it's just disgustingly cool. The scythe that comes out of there is amazing, looks visually good, and I'm just, I just keep wanting to log in and run dungeons with it. But anyway, I think it's a strong candidate for Race to World first. I know Frost is pretty strong right now, but most of it that you've seen is in dungeons, right? And it's really good AoE, so I haven't paid too much attention whether or not they've been doing good in raid beta testing at all or anything. But again, this is just for fun, just speculation, but I still think they're strong. So the next one I'm guessing will be up there is going to be Druid. And the reason I'm picking Druid for the Race to World first pick is because let's see, Boomy, although they've been getting some buffs, I just don't think their damage output potential is going to be there. What else? I don't know, I just get a bad feeling about it. Resto isn't up there at all. It's kind of just been dropped off the face of the planet. You don't hear too much about it because you hear about shamans. You hear about who else is in there? Paladins are coming up there, holy paladins. Who else is in there? Mistweaver maybe, but I do see Mistweaver being in the race to world first. So I just, yeah, if we had to pick a druid, feral, I know feral, LOL, right? You don't ever see feral. It's just probably not going to make it to the last few bosses. So that's why I think Druid Guardian is going to be a very strong pick for this. Just simply based off the fact that the other specs just are underperforming, at least from my standpoint. If you're going to be going for Race the World first, you're going to need the verse buff. You're going to need, you know, movement speed. You're going to need somebody that can bring that to you, and that is going to be the Guardian Druid. So I'm going to put the next ones I'm going to put on the list is going to be maybe, because they have very strong potentials. There's only a couple things I think that would prevent them from being there. I'm not saying that they won't be in there, but I'm just saying if you had to choose two, these are the first two I would pick to go in there. So for the maybe category, I would do Warrior, and the reason I would do Warrior would be simply based off of Fury isn't performing in damage, because you need the shout, because you're going to be bringing rogues, and if for whatever reason Fury is underperforming and its damage output isn't going to be good, then you would slide this into one of these two spots. And if I had to choose between which spot, I would probably choose I would swap these two in and out and bring him down here if Fury ends up being bad, but I don't see that happening, so that's why I put Warrior in the maybe spot. Right now playing them, they're practically take no damage, especially in Mythic Plus. It's like you could just sit there and they get wailed on. I've been pulling mega packs with these and they barely take any damage. It's disgusting. The amount of control that they have is good, but unfortunately this kind of stuff doesn't matter as much when you're fighting bosses, right? So that's why I said maybe. I mean, they'll definitely take the damage, that's for 100% sure. You know, that it won't do nothing to them, but when you need utility and you need everything else, these two just bring it no matter what. Even if you double up with a Frost DK, or if you bring in a Boomy or a Resto in here, you can still, it wouldn't matter, because they still bring their own personal utility. The other one, and again, this is why I said maybe for this, Vengeance is really still good. They're still good in Mythic Plus. Their damage though, and I could be wrong, but I think they're on the low scale damage unless they're in Fell Devastation or you're in freaking Metamorphosis. If you're in either one of those two, damage is insane. But as soon as you come out of it, your damage it just feels like a wet noodle. You don't take damage. It's really good. The mitigation is there, but man, it's just the damage output is low. And the reason I'm putting them in the maybe category is because if Havoc is bad, then you're going to need a magic debuff and to bring him in. And the other thing too that I found playing Vengeance in a raid setting is that you're going to need darkness. And if you're tanking and your back is to a wall, and when you drop darkness, it's kind of hard to hit your whole raid, you know, especially with melee if you're facing the wrong direction. If it's one of the bosses, it's it's a platform boss, then it doesn't really matter. Everybody's going to be lumped in one area. But if it's a not platform boss, then darkness is kind of useless on a Vengeance Demon Hunter. I mean, not totally useless, but the effect isn't as good as if you had a Havoc there to drop it. I'm just going to get this out of the way right now. Until 11.05 comes out, there is no way anybody's going to be bringing a Paladin. I'm sorry. It's just Ret's damage is good and Holy's healing is good, and those other two bring better utility to the raid than this guy is. Maybe after they do the rework in 11.05 that might change, but right now I'm 100% sure, I shouldn't say 99% sure that they're not going to bring it. Last and certainly not least, but a class that I'm not playing at all because I just I just can't get into Brewmaster. I tried, I just can't get into it. So I'm only going to be doing 5 out of the 6, and this won't be one of them. But again, the reason I say this would be a wild card spot is because Windwalker is looking really good for raid. Their damage is insane. They're bringing the utility that a Brewmaster could bring. The debuff, obviously, and Mistweaver will probably be one of the healers also in the raid. Not too sure about that, but I'm pretty sure they'll probably be brought in. So probably won't see Brewmaster. That's why I threw it in wild card spot, because it's a good possibility, you know, that somebody could swap out one of these two for there. That's what, you know, just like everything else, just like in football, you know, there's wild card teams that do make it to the Super Bowl. It's rare, but it's very possible. So anyway, that'll do it. Again, this is kind of like one of those draft wish list things that you do, you know, like your fantasy football. This is what I would like to see in my if I had to pick a team, my tanking team for the Race to World First. These are the 2 tanks that I would like to see. Just based off the utility, the amount of damage that they can take or lack thereof, the utility, like I said, the utility. So again, that's my list. If you like this kind of videos and you like to see a little bit more, please let me know. I'm starting to get back into YouTube and streaming again and making content and stuff. I'm not one of those that like to do the theory crafting type things, because I just like to play the game. So I'm not going to sit back and analyze and do this, that, and the other. But I do like to show a couple things here and now again. I play a lot of Vengeance Demon Hunter. I'm starting to get into Blood DK because, oh man, it's just so satisfying playing Blood DK. It is amazing. So if you have not played, or you're on the fence, I definitely recommend rolling one, level it to 80, and run the dungeons. It's incredible. It's gonna be great. Warrior also 100%. The amount of stops that Warrior brings, it's disgusting. You are going to be stopping packs in their tracks, literally. So anyway, thanks for watching. Please leave a comment down below if y'all don't like my wish list, or if you do like my wish list. Hit that thumbs up button, and I'll see you again later for the next video. Thank you.